Hello world, you are now tuning into my channel, Beffy Doodle and Company, where you can find all things me. I will be sharing tips, tricks, and vlogs along my journey as a mom of three, as well as an entrepreneur. Today's video, I will be showing you guys my pain-free shampoo, conditioning, detangling, and hair stretching routine for kids. This routine is great for kids with 4C hair. I promise you it will be painless and you will see no tears. So let's get started. Alrighty. This is my 8-year-old daughter. Her name is Shiloh. And we will be working on her hair this evening. Right now, her hair was up. Ooh, little itch on my leg. Don't worry about that. Okay, so she had her hair up in a puff. We just taking it down. Right here, I am doing what I call finger detangling. Sped it up so we won't take too much time on this. It's just taking down the hair piece by piece and just separating it lightly with your fingers, piece by piece. Trust me, it's not hard. It's sped up so it may look a little more rough than what it really is. But you're just separating the hair piece by piece. That's all you're doing, piece by piece, piece by piece. Okay? Easy. Everything's down. Now, what I'm going to do is just separate the hair into full quadrants with my fingers. I'm going to start with the first side, with the first half first. I like a big industrial size water bottle because it gives me a nice forceful spray with a lot of water. Just going to spread in there, and then you're just going to start detangling one quadrant at a time. Okay? I got this little detangling comb from, I saw an ad on Facebook, I believe, and I just went on and ordered it. It came in about 7 days, and I love it, okay? It gets that hair detangled without a lot of shedding. Now, you will see a little bit of shedding with Shiloh's hair, and that's only because her hair was up in a braided style for about a month, and then after that, I took it down and she had it up in a puff for about a week. And scientifically, your hair does shed a certain amount of strands per day, and when it's all bound up and you do nothing to it, it doesn't have a chance to shed. So when you take it down, you do get a little. You should only get a little bit of shedding. If you're detangling gentle enough, you will only get a little bit. If you get a little bit of resistance, just add more water and just deal with it a little bit more gently. Okay, so once I detangle, I put it in a little plait and tuck it into a little bun. This is how it looks when it's done. Simple, 4 quadrants, 4 little loose plaited buns tucked under. Now we're going to go ahead and get ready to shampoo. This is the fun part. Okay, so I like to lay her across the counter. She's still small enough, so that's how I do. So she is, can just lay her head back in the bowl. She doesn't have to bend over the sink. I have the water spray on with my faucet. Okay, so what I'm doing is I like to wet the hair down. I like to do everything in sections with her hair. Her hair is thick, it's coarse, and I find that I can manage it better when I do everything in sections. This is the key to keeping it untangled and keeping everything neat and in order. So here I'm just going to show you how I do the shampooing routine for each quadrant. Now, you see the one that's already done with the conditioner on it. That's how it looks when you're done, but I'm going to walk you through right here of how you actually do it. So once it's wet down, you take down one plait. I like to use just the pure cast-out soap. I got that from Amazon, okay? I just take that, put a few drops in, not a whole lot. Lather it up. If it doesn't lather a whole lot, just add a little bit more water. You don't need a whole bunch of soap. You really don't. This soap is gentle. Okay, of course, I don't get it in her eyes. I don't get it near her eyes in any type of way. but I just use a little bit. It doesn't have a whole bunch of ingredients in it. Basically, cast iron soap is a bunch of oils and a little bit of some type of hydroxide just to give you the soap component. And that's it, okay? It's not a whole bunch of extra stuff in it, and that's why I use it, okay? So I just put that in there, lather it up, and when I go to rinse, it's very easy to rinse out. You don't have to rinse for hours. You see how easy all of that came out? Quick and easy, okay? Now I just squeeze that excess water out, and I'm going to come in with my all natural deep conditioner, okay? Guys, let me know if you want the recipe for the conditioner. Drop some comments below, and I'll make a little video for you guys to see on how I make that. It's easy. It's just 4 ingredients. You can make it in a matter of minutes, okay? And it's inexpensive, okay? So we just put that in there. Put it in there. Smooth it through. It makes the hair so much more manageable. Gives it the moisture. You see how I'm just plaiting it back up. I don't have a whole bunch of resistance from the hair. It's just conforming with me, okay? After you put the conditioner in that one section, you just plait it back up, tuck it back in, and then you move on to your next section, okay? Now, this is how it looks. You keep it in, pull your baby from the sink, sit them back down, and there's more work to be done. Now, please, don't mind my teenage child, okay? The girl irks my spirit, but we're keeping her in prayer, okay? So, anyway, I'm just going to show you how we do our next step, and that will be parting the hair. Now, you don't have to use the tail comb. Sometimes I do, just to get my parts. But you really don't have to. You really don't have to. And you just take your section and nice and gently with the deep conditioner still in there. You just detangle it nice and easy with a paddle brush, okay? No little teeny tiny tooth combs, none of that, okay? Just a paddle brush, and you just lightly from the ends, and then you work your way up, detangle it nice and easy, okay? Okay? I gotta talk to my daughter a little bit because she's very dramatic, okay? And she really does not like getting her hair done. I don't like using the word hate, but she hates it. So, just gotta check in on her, make sure it's not hurting and, all of that stuff. I guess the water splashing in her face, that's what that little squinted eye's about. But, she's good, I promise y'all. It was a time when I did her hair, and I mean, she cried and she screamed and she hollered. So this is the first routine that I, kind of put in place that gives her the detangling that she needs without all of the fuss, okay? So now we're just going back into our second little section that was made out of the first one. So I just took the first section and I split it in two, okay? I took the first section and I split it in two. And again, just going in, detangling it nice and easy. If you get a little resistance, stop, move to another part of the section and work your way back in. We're going from the ends and working our way down closer to the head, okay? Work with the ends first and then work your way up or down, whichever way you want to say it, okay? We're using the elastic hair bands. I don't use rubber bands. I use the cloth covered elastic hair bands so that I won't get any snagging or pulling on her hair. We don't want to have any breakage, okay? We want to avoid that as much as possible, all right? So the power of editing. Look at this. This is how everything looks once you do all of your little sections, okay? And you just let it sit in here for as long as you think you need to, according to your child's needs or how much moisture they need. anywhere from 15 to 30, 45 minutes. Okay, I don't use heat because she doesn't like to sit under the dryer, and I don't really think it's, necessary. You may want to use a hooded dryer if you want to open those cuticles up to force it in a little better, but other than that, just letting it sit, it'll do. Okay, we're back at the sink, and we're just rinsing it out. We rinse the conditioner out with the elastic bands in. Again, remember what I told you about keeping things sectioned off and neat and in order. That is a must when you're dealing with very kinky and coarse hair. You have to keep everything in its place. It'll make things so much easier for you. So you're just going to rinse this with warm water until you can get your water nice and clear. And then go back with a cool rinse just to close those cuticles, okay? This is how it looks when you pull her from the sink. Look at that. Okay. Now we're going into our next phase. That is my all natural leave-in conditioner. Let me know if you guys want to see that, and I'll make a video to show you the recipe for that, okay? So I just apply that to her hair, okay? Gives a lot of good slip. You need that slip with dry, coarse hair. You need that slip. And again, we're going back with the paddle brush, just detangling, and then we just go in and put a little plait or braid, whichever one you want to call it. Just go ahead, braid her hair down to the ends. And then we're going to just do that with every section, okay? Same process. Leave in. Make sure you get those ends. Come back with the paddle brush gently. Might not look gentle because the video is sped up, but trust me, doing it gently. Go through and just braid it on down. You see how relaxed she is? No tears, no crying, none of that. Okay? We like to keep our old girls up, but we don't like to have them in pain while we're doing it, okay? I keep picking up the detangling comb. But with this step, I want to use the paddle brush, okay? Braid it on down. And again, I'm just showing you, how you get it done. There you go. Me and that detangling comb. And child, look at this head wrap on my head. That thing want to come down so bad. It is hanging on by a thread, honey. Okay. And she just running that mouth. Okay, that's how I look when we're done. All braided up in our sections. Okay. Now we're going to go to bed. All right. All right. This was about maybe 20 hours after we did the initial routine. Didn't use any heat. Now we just taking down the braids. Now, usually it takes about at least 24 hours for her hair to dry. It's very thick. It's very dense. We didn't have the time to go the whole 24 hours, so it was a little damp in some areas, okay? But usually I give myself enough time for it to dry thoroughly. And depending on how thick your hair is, that's, going to determine how long you need to have it dry. But the goal here is to have this done as comfortably as possible. Us as grown women, we don't like to sit under dryers. We do if we have to, but when we don't have to, we kind of like it. So the same thing with our little girls. They don't like all that pulling. They don't like all that sitting under dryers, the heat blowing in their face. They not with all of that, the kids. So I just like to do this little routine, let her sleep on it, all that good stuff, and not really pull on it, not yank on it, and not put no heat on it. Just let it do its own thing naturally, okay? So I'm just taking down all of the braids, You see our dog Princess, she is a trip. She wanted to be a part of the video, so she's there. Yep. So that's what I'm doing basically. I'm still just taking down all of the braids. Okay. Taking them all down. I think I'm almost finished here. And then once I get finished, I'm just going to grab my paddle brush and just start fluffing it out. Okay. Oh, before I do that, my all natural African shea butter. I take a little bit of that. You got to use your body heat between your hands and just, break it down a little bit. And then I just rub that all throughout her hair. Again, just another extra layer of protection and moisture, okay? Her hair is very dry, so she needs a lot of moisture. I'm not using any heat tools on it. I'm not using any flat irons on it. So all of the oil and stuff is okay. If I were trying to silk press her out or something like that, I wouldn't be using all of that oil, okay? So, again, paddle brush and just fluffing it out. You hit a little bit of resistance, put that brush down, and go in and finger detangle, okay? So you're just using that paddle brush and just fluffing it out, because I'm just going to put it into two little quick puffs just so I can get out the door, okay? Now the leave-in conditioner that I make is made with some natural components, so that's what you may see on her hair, those little tiny specks in certain spots. But if you brush those out or pick them out, they'll come right out. It's not a big deal, okay? And bam, just like that, the two puffs. The part was already there from when I sectioned her off to do the little ponytails for her conditioning. So I just literally just used my hands and pulled it into two puffs. Okay? Easy, simple. Doing a little bit of finger plucking and fluffing, that's all. Look, no edge control. No, we don't need all of that, okay? Keeping it simple. We're keeping it real simple. There you go. And look at her, just as happy as can be. Thank you so much for tuning in to my video and to my channel. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to y'all later. Mwah.